Remember these little penguins? I'm finally going to finish the baby quilt for Jules. Hi there! Welcome to a brand new video on the Sugaridoo channel. My name is Irene and today I'm going to start on a new mini-series. I'm going to finally finish the baby quilt for Jules. And it's a quilt with these little penguin friends. And I've laid them out on my design wall so that I know exactly how much I have and how many penguins I still need to make. So today the plan is to finish all the penguins and to tilt them a little bit. So I'm not going to sew them in those straight rows together because I think that's a bit too stiff for penguins. So I'm going to tilt them a little bit by sewing triangles around the blocks. And I think I'm going to do that in this video so that I have all the penguins completed. And then in the next one I'm going to paper piece the letters of the name Jules and assemble the quilt. And I think in the third and final video I'm going to quilt the whole quilt and put a binding on it. So let's see how many videos it will take me to finish this baby quilt. Here I have the bag from my pile of whips, and it contains all the fabric and the patterns and also some fabric pieces. So I don't remember. I'm very curious how much I've already cut and how much fabric there is left for this project. So we have a lot of pattern pieces. And also fabric pieces. Let's sort this out a little bit. Everything is sorted out. And a pretty good score. I already have cut 2 green penguins and 2 red ones. So I am going to cut a few penguins from the blue, light blue and the darker green. And then I can start sewing, I guess. I'm going to add about 5 more penguins. So that we will have 4 penguins next to each other and 5 rows of penguins. Something about that. I'm first going to make those and then we'll see how the layout looks. Now I've cut all the remaining penguins, it's time to set up my machine and start sewing some penguins. I always love to work in batches, so I've now cut everything and I'm lining up all the piles of pieces so that when I grab a pattern piece that I can just pick a pile and start sewing. So those are all ready to go, and here I have my ironing board. Let's get the iron. And now I only need my add a quarter ruler. Scissors. I guess I have everything and I'm ready to go. The technique that I'm using for these penguins is foundation paper piecing, but then with freezer paper. So I use freezer paper to put my pattern on, and I can use those pattern pieces multiple times. I've explained this technique in a video which I will link somewhere on the screen, so you can hop over to learn more if you want to learn this technique. But the idea is that freezer paper is sticky, so you can stick your fabric to the freezer paper and then you'll fold it away from the fabric and you can sew just along the paper. And when your block is done, you can just peel off the paper and reuse your pattern piece. So it's really efficient if you need to make a lot of the same blocks, like I'm making a lot of penguins right now. Perfect, so the first pieces are sewn together, and now I use my add a quarter ruler to trim off the excess fabric. This is really my favorite tool while paper piecing. It's so handy to cut off exactly a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So what I've done now is that I've trimmed off this edge so that it's nice and so it's nice and even, so I can easily place the next fabric along that line. I'm going to continue sewing and I will see you when I've finished all the penguins. So final pieces of the penguins. One more wing over here. And one over here. I decided that I'm not going to finish the 2 red penguins that I've already cut, because this will give me a layout of 4 penguins in a row and then 5 rows of penguins. Good morning! Yesterday I finished all the penguins, and this morning I started by turning them and sewing triangles around them. It was a bit of a puzzle, but now I got the hang of it, so I'm going to sew triangles around all the penguins. And I've already made the layout. So this is going to be the layout of the quilt, and you see that all the penguins are slightly tilted, or to the left or to the right, or they stay just upright, and then I will add a little border around them. So let me show you how I'm going to attach those triangles. So for the penguins that I want to put under an angle, I need to cut triangles to fill up these gaps around the penguins. And I've been fiddling around with triangles a little bit, trying to calculate the size of the triangles, but it seems that it's easier to just roughly add a triangle to it and then square up the block to the size that I want. And the penguins that I've already sewn came to a 7.5 inch finished size. So what I did now is I cut some templates, and those perfectly match the finished size of the triangle. Whoops. So they match the finished size of the triangle, and if you want to use such a template, you can always cut it out from freezer paper, like I did here. And then you just cut a 1/4 inch seam allowance around your template. So that's, I don't know if you can really see it with the white on white fabric. So that's a very easy way to use a template like this. So and after I've used a few of these templates, I just went ahead and cut some more triangles without the templates. I'm sewing those around the penguin, and then I'm squaring it up to a 7.5 inch block. So first I have these 3 penguins, which will just stay up straight. So I'm going to add a little border around it. The blocks are now almost 6.5 inch big, and I want to make it 7.5 inch. So I'm going to add a little strip around it and then square it up. Can repeat the same thing on the other side of the penguins. And then cut them loose. Give it a little press and then trim off the excess fabric. So there we go. And now adding a strip on the top and the bottom of the penguins. And here we have the 3 squared penguins. I'm going to put them back on my design board and then get the next batch of penguins. These penguins are all supposed to be tilted in this direction, so I'm going to place those on my mat and then see how I need to add the triangles. So this is how I'm going to add the triangles to all of the penguins. And so let's see how many triangles I need and how much I still need to cut. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 38 triangles. So now I have strips of 2¼ inch by 8 inch, and I'm going to cut them in triangles, cutting a 1/4 inch away from the corner. So here I'm leaving a 1/4 inch, and also here I'm leaving a 1/4 inch. And there I have a pile of triangles. So all the triangles are cut. Now it's time to start sewing them to the penguins. Okay, so these penguins should be tilted in this direction. That means that the triangle should be sewn like that. And when I'm placing the penguin on the triangle, I'm leaving about a 1/4 inch seam allowance on that side, so on the wider side of the triangle, and this is just excess fabric. Time to sew my last last six penguins, and those will be tilted in the other direction. And that is already the final penguin. So I've sewn all the penguins, so now I get to give them a press and put them back on my design board. And that is the end of today's video. So in the next video I'm going to make the letters to spell Jules in the quilt, and play a little bit with the design, maybe add some sashing in between the blocks, and also add the letters in between, of course. Oh, by the way, the pattern for the penguins, it's from my book, the Sugaridoo Sampler. In the Sugaridoo Sampler you find over 35 paper piecing patterns. That's foundation paper piecing. So a lot of different patterns are in there. It's a digital book, a PDF, and it's now for sale also on my web shop. I will put a link in the comments below. And there is also a paper piecing pattern for just the penguins. That's called Penguin Parade, and it's also in my web shop. I will also link to that one. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my business. I hope you liked this video. If so, you can always give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And then I hope to see you next week in a next video about the penguin quilt. Bye bye!